Here coming to you live from Waikanae Beach in New Zealand. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porch Light Letters podcast number 2562. And today we are looking at the question of where was your family when they changed careers? How many different careers did they have? Were they a farmer their entire lives? Were they a bookbinder their entire lives, or a butcher, or a blacksmith? Or did they stop somewhere along the way and change careers and go in a different path? For myself, I started off in the Air Force, left the Air Force and went and worked for a computer company on their help chat, and later worked on the contracts for them. And then left that, went to the States, went to school for hospitality, and got my associate degrees in hospitality management, hotel management, and restaurant management, and ended up working for Marriott for 10 years. Then left Marriott, actually got laid off from Marriott because they had a restructuring change, and my job was one of the ones that went, which was I will tell you, the day I found out about that, I was super, super excited, because Brad and I had, that was in June of 2010 when we found out. It was the 16th of June 2010. We were on our way from Winslow, Arizona to LA. We'd stopped off at this gas station. It was 104 degrees outside, and there was a Dairy Queen attached, and I was dealing with Gus, letting him do his thing, giving him some water, getting him back into the car. And Brad came out with 2 chocolate dipped Dairy Queen ice creams, and you could see the ice cream coming down. And we get back in the car, get on the road again, and I'm dealing with melting ice cream when the phone rings, and I recognize the first 6 digits as being from Marriott head office. So I answered the phone. They told me I didn't get any of the jobs I applied for, which I knew I wasn't going to get them, and I was super excited about that, because in August of 2008 we started our Cruise Planners franchise, and started out, and so I was working part-time in that, but now I had the freedom to go full-time into this business. So I was very, very excited about that. Brad was not happy at all. And when he's driving down the freeway, and he's like, he was so upset, and I was bouncing in the seat next to him. I says, you don't get it. This is what it means. Da, 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 da. Even the recruiting person who called me, she said, well, I'm very sorry to tell you didn't get any of them. I says, none of them? She goes, no. I said, that's awesome. Dead silence on the other end of the phone. She had no clue how to respond. And then I hear this little voice go, it is? I said, yes. I said, this is awesome. And she was sort of like, well, okay. And I said, what happens next? And so she tells me what happens next. And I said, okay, thank you, bye. And I was super excited about it all. I knew that even when I applied for these new positions and the restructuring that they did, I knew I wasn't going to be getting them, and I would be able to go full-time in my travel business. So when they officially told me, I was so excited. So yeah, that was one of my career changes. But let's see, what have we got here? Changing careers can be one of the biggest turning points in a person's life. You can go from something that just sort of like, what I was doing at Marriott, I was good at, and I enjoyed doing it because I got to meet all these different people, but something was missing. There was, I enjoyed it. They got 110%, and I loved the people that I worked with. I had some great people. The team that we had for the training department was absolutely amazing, absolutely awesome, absolutely loved working with them. But something was missing. And it wasn't until I got to go full-time in the travel business, I realized what it was. It was my freedom of time. I didn't have the freedom of time because I was tied to a job. When I went into the travel business full-time, I had some flexibility in there. I could now set my own office hours. I didn't have to be in a certain place at a certain time every single day from this time to this time and then go home and basically crash. I had that freedom to bring in that nice quiet time that I was looking for, that me time. And I will tell you this, by the end of that year, which was 2010, I had done more in my travel business than I had done the 2 years prior as part-time. So things were looking up and things were moving in the right direction. So that was just awesome. For some people, the decision was carefully planned. For others, life made the decision for them. And in this case, the decision was made for me. They restructured. I wasn't in the restructuring plan. That was okay. A company closed, a family needed more income, an opportunity appeared unexpectedly, or they simply realized they wanted something different. Whatever the reason, leaving one career behind and beginning another takes courage. Our parents and grandparents may have changed careers for reasons we know very little about. Perhaps they left the farm for a factory job, traded an office for a classroom, joined the military, started their own business, learned a trade, or returned to work after raising a family. Sometimes a hobby or skill they had always loved eventually became the way they earned their living. Yeah. And even getting married may have changed their career as well. There was a time where teachers had to be single women or single men. They weren't allowed to be married. So as soon as they got married, they had to retire from their teaching career. Way back in the Wayback Machine. There could have been jobs like that where they had to be a single person in order to have that job. And as soon as they got married, that job went away and they now had to go find something else to do, unless they were now becoming a stay-at-home wife, and the husband was the breadwinner. It all depends on what the circumstances were. Career change can also tell us a lot about what was happening in someone's life at the time. Were they newly married? Were they raising children, moving to another town or country, looking for better opportunities, starting again after a setback? The job itself is only part of the story. Understanding why they made the change can reveal their hopes, responsibilities, sacrifices, and dreams. Starting again isn't always easy. There may have been new skills to learn, qualifications to earn, financial uncertainty, or the uncomfortable feeling of being the beginner again, having to go back to the beginning, being that new person like me, always being the new kid at school, now being the new person at work. There may have also been someone who encouraged them to take the chance when they weren't quite sure if they could do it. Have you ever had a mentor like that or a friend like that? A true friend wants you to grow. They won't hold you back. They want you to grow. If they see that you're not up to using your full potential, guess what? They're going to turn around. They're going to turn around and encourage you to take it, even if you don't want to. Looking back, that one decision may have changed the direction of the entire family. A new career could have led to a move, new friendships, greater opportunities, or even the place where someone met their future spouse. One career decision can create ripples that continue through generations. Think about that. Whatever decision we make causes a ripple to go out and can change the course of our life. We might have been heading off in this direction, but we decided to make a career change and now we're going in this direction. Isn't that awesome? And that's that ripple effect. I love the ripple effect. Oh. So your challenge for today is ask a family member if they ever made a major career change. What were they doing before? Why did they decide to change? Were they excited, terrified, or a little bit of both? Because that excitement and terrifying thing they're not very far apart. Who supported them? So who said, go do it? Yay. But who was on their cheer squad? What happened because they took that chance? Record the story behind the decision, because sometimes understanding why someone changed direction tells us far more about them than their job title ever could. And let us know in the comments below any of the stories that you uncover. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And I will be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Always got to check. I never know what's on my calendar these days. I tell you, it's a crapshoot at times. But go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll see you back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.